I think that we are in a very buoyant moment. Frankly, it is not started yesterday. Already, I think, just after COVID, we started to see some changes. But definitely, there is quite an ask at the moment for more sustainable things and quite a change also. We see a lot of traction in the sustainability space, both in Europe and on the US continent. And that happens in very different areas, such as climate adaptation, obviously. If you think about some of the storms that are increasing, but also the rainfalls that now you can get, the volume of a month within an hour. And then cities need to adapt.
In New York, we definitely feel that.
After.
Go ahead. So to that point, though, I hear you, and politically as well, you get the CHIPS Act here, the Infrastructure Act, and the IRA, and there's so much money to be deployed so quickly. But I'm seeing a disconnect, particularly in industrials, about backlog and projects versus actually getting money, like people actually ponying up the cash. Are you guys noticing that right now too?
If we are honest, we need to admit, that all these stimulus packages in some respect have created some sort of a pause, because suddenly, people are saying, I could get a bunch of money. So then, I should wait to make my decisions. We've been some people hesitating between the stimulus in Europe versus the stimulus in the US. But what we can see is that traction is now coming. We already have a first project. For example, we work on the Nano Research Center in New York, Albany, which is funded by stimulus package money. And we still have other projects coming in. We also have the same thing in Europe with a very large semiconductor factory in Germany, 1 mile per 1 mile, so a very large thing. And definitely, there is a need for more of these elements, and then this is going to happen. But probably H2 will be showing us more of that.
So I would think for your business, those projects that you work on are just some multi-year projects. What kind of visibility do you have into your business going forward?
We have quite a long-term visibility. Our way of recording backlog, whatever, is very conservative, and then our backlog at any moment is not more than 10 months. But if we consider our entire pipeline, quite a number of our projects, like the Hudson Tunnel you are referring to, it's a several years project. So we have visibility in what's going to happen. We recently signed a strong project in Europe with Shell about gas extraction cleaning to get the remediation of the soil and convert that, potentially either back into farmland when it's remediated, or into a different sort of air compression storage, for example, for energy. So this type of project give you a 10-year visibility. On some other different things, we have also large frameworks with some clients, that also want us to accompany on the long time, and very long-lasting relationship here in the US with more than 70 years with some clients.
Yeah, and I know that at least in my world, when I do energy transition stuff, a lot of businesses are just like, they're staying in the queue for stuff, even if they don't need it or they don't have the money right now, because it just takes so long to get on the line, which then benefits like companies like yours at the end of the day. I'm interested in terms of how you're managing costs. Like, where are you still seeing inflation? Where are you seeing deflation? And where do you feel like prices are sticky?
So I think we've been over the worst phase of inflation, obviously. But at the end of the day, when we talk about, such a large project like the Hudson Tunnel or other project we are in, the share of cost that we represent is super small. So I wouldn't be honest if I'm not admitting, that pushing inflation in our revenue has not been really a key question. That's been something, that the way we organize, the way we work, and what we deliver, for our clients has been something quite smooth, and the operating performance of the last few years have shown that.
So what type of specific consulting services do you provide? You focus, just trying to get a sense of what role you guys play in these different projects.
So Arcadis would be able to intervene around any natural or built asset from the very beginning, conception, thinking and such, down to remediation and potentially dismantling. So that's where we operate, and in that space, we will never take any construction risk. This is not where we operate, but we are really an advisor, a consultant that will be able to give environmental permitting, for example, or design, construction, architecture also. Things about the Fifth Avenue. We've been recently refurbishing the Tiffany store, but
that's you guys.
Yes.
Ah, okay. All right.
I hope
Hopefully
you like
get a
it.
discount.
Yeah, right. So what is the hardest part of your business right now? Like, what keeps you up at night as CFO?
What keeps me up at night? My kids more than my job.
For sure. I totally get that.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just curious as to what the hardest part of your job is.
This is a very fragmented portfolio, so you need to have a view on everything, and you need to admit also that you can't have a view on everything at the same time. So it's the way you are organized, the way you make people have the information that they need to make the relevant decision at any moment. And part of our new strategic cycle is really around that. There's more project outside that project that we can seize. So then what do we do internally to make sure that our sales force has the capability to make the right decision and not work on a first in, first out mode,